spoken to them on Mount Sinai. Just like after the death, burial, resurrection, Joshua, he rose again on the third day. He carried the earth for 40 days. And then 10 days later, on June 6th, the day of Pentecost, he poured out the Holy Spirit in fulfillment of that. And so the third day of the same month, the third month, they had to depart from Rephidim, and they would come to Mount Sinai, and Yahweh told them that in 3 days he would speak to them. And Yahweh is telling them, Moses went up to Elohim, and Yahweh called unto him out of the mountain, saying, thus shalt thou say to the children of the house of Jacob. So this is the first trip that Moses takes into the Mount Sinai. So Mount Sinai, Moses took 3 different trips into Mount Sinai. This is the first trip where Moses was on the plateau of the mount. He didn't go to the top yet, but he was on the plateau of the mount. It said Yahweh came unto him out of the mountain, saying, thus shalt thou say to the house of Jacob, ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Now therefore, if you will obey my voice and keep my covenant, then you shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine, and you should be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which Yahweh shall speak unto the children of Israel. And Moses came and called for the elders of Israel, and laid before their faces all the words of Yahweh. And then they answered all that Yahweh said, we will do. And so Moses returned the words of the people unto Yahweh. And so Moses told Yahweh, they said, whatever you say, Yahweh, that's what they're going to do. And Yahweh said to Moses, lo, I come unto thee in a thick cloud, the people may hear when I speak, and believe thee forever. And Moses told the words of the people unto Yahweh. And Yahweh said to Moses, go to the people, tell them to sanctify themselves. And they could not come at their wives. He said, be ready against the third day. For the third day, Yahweh will come again in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai. And thou shalt set bounds. They couldn't even touch the mount. Not even a beast could touch the mount. If so, they had to be killed. And it's because the mount was holy. And so Moses went down, told the people what Yahweh said. And then Mount Sinai was a smoke. Yahweh came and descended upon it in fire, and the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mount quaked greatly. And when the voice of the trumpet sounded long and waxed louder and louder, Moses spake, and Elohim answered him by a voice. And Yahweh came down upon Mount Sinai on the top of the mount, and Yahweh called Moses up to the top of the mount, and Moses went up. And Yahweh said unto Moses, go down, try the people that can come through, so forth and so on. So Moses went down, told them that they couldn't come through. So that's the first trip that Moses took to Mount Sinai. Second trip, and so this is what he said to them. So Yahweh spoke all these words, saying, I am Yahweh thy Elohim that brought you out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. He started giving them the 10 commandments. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images. You shall bow yourself down to them. Yahweh visits the iniquity of the fathers on the children unto the first, third, and fourth generation, which is talking about something too. And then the 8th verse, this is important. The 8th verse says, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Now, he could not say remember if he had not already told them about the Sabbath day. And so the world says that this is when he set up the Sabbath with them, and this is what the world talks about. No, in the 16th chapter, he set that up with Israel and Israel only. The world tries to take these commandments and make them theirs, but this is what Yahweh spoke to Israel. He said, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of Yahweh thy Elohim. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy maidservant, menservant, thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor the stranger that is within thy gate. He didn't say the whole world. He said those that are within thy gate. For in 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore Yahweh blessed the Sabbath and hallowed it. Now Moses wrote this after he had seen everything. Now, all this had happened, but he wrote all of this down afterwards. I'm going to show you that in a minute. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which Yahweh thy Elohim giveth thee. Thou shalt not commit murder. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not cover thy neighbor's house, nothing that thy neighbor has. And all the people saw the thunderings and lightning, and the noise of the trumpet, and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. They were afraid. And they said unto Moses, Speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not Yahweh speak to us, lest we die. And Moses said unto the people, Fear not, for Yahweh is come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not. He's doing that to y'all fear him, so you won't sin against him. And the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where Yahweh was. And Yahweh said unto Moses, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, Ye have seen that I have talked with you from heaven, not the mount, but heaven. Why did he say heaven, even though he was on the mount? Because Yahweh is heaven itself. Wherever his presence is, that's heaven itself. And so Yahweh, if he's magnified in your conscience or in your mind, you can walk around on heaven, in heaven while you walk around on earth. You can be in heaven right now. And so that's, anyway, ye shall not make with gods of silver, neither shall you make unto you gods of gold, an altar of earth thou shalt make unto me, and shall sacrifice thereon thy burnt offerings and thy peace offerings, thy sheep and thine oxen, in all places where I record my name, I will come unto thee, and I will bless thee. Now that was then. Now the altar of earth that we have now are these earthly bodies that we have, where we're supposed to be sacrificing unto Yahweh within ourselves. And once we do that, in all the places where he records his name in us, he will come unto us and he will bless us. And if thou wilt make an altar of stone, thou shalt not build of it hewn stone, for if thou lift up thy tool upon it, thou hast polluted it. Neither shalt thou go up by steps unto mine altar, lest thy nakedness be. So the 21st chapter, he starts speaking out the judgments to the people. Same thing with the 22nd chapter. There's so much in that, even with the ox being goring the people and all that. That was talking about Yahshua too much to go through now, but we run out of time. Then the 22nd chapter, thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not do that. He gave them all the judgments and laws. Thou shalt not raise false report. 23rd chapter, he's going through all of that, talking about the Sabbath and the land, all the judgments and things like that. So 24th chapter. Here we go. Now, and then we're going to do the assignment. We're going to talk about the assignment. So 24th chapter, first verse, and he said unto Moses, Come up unto Yahweh, thou and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and worship ye afar off. And Moses alone shall come near Yahweh, but they shall not come nigh, neither shall the people go up with him. And Moses came and told the people all the words of Yahweh and all the judgments. And all the people answered with one voice and said, All the words of Yahweh we will do. And Moses wrote all the words of Yahweh and rose up early in the morning. But keep that in mind. Now, this is early in the morning that he's rising up. Moses rose up early in the morning and built an altar under the hill and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto Yahweh. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant and read it in the audience of the people. So all these things he's doing, even he started early in the morning, now he's doing all of these things. He sprinkled the blood of the people, read the book in the audience of the people. They said all that Yahweh said we would do and be obedient. He took the blood, sprinkled it on the people. He sprinkled it on the book, and things like that. And then the 9th verse, then after that, went up Moses, Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, 70 of the elders of Israel, and they all saw the Elohim of Israel. Now, mind you, all this time is passing from the morning when he started. They all saw the Elohim of Israel, and there was under his feet, as it were, a paved work of a sapphire stone, and it were the body of heaven in its clearness, as it were, And then upon the nobles of the children of Israel, he laid not his hands. Also they saw Elohim and did eat and drink. And Yahweh said unto Moses, Come up unto me in the mount and be there, and I will give thee tables of stone and a law and commandments which I have written, that thou mayest teach them. And Moses rose up and his minister Yahshua, and Moses went up into the mount of Elohim. Now Yahshua, what is he doing going up there with Moses? When Yahweh said nobody should go with Moses, Moses should come alone. Because Yahshua is the one that invited him up, because that was Yahweh manifested in the body. And he said unto the elders, Tarry ye here for us until we come again unto you. And behold, Aaron and Hur are with you. If any man have any matter to do, let him come unto them. And so if you know the story, they didn't waste any time after Moses went up in the cloud. Oh man, ain't no telling what happened to Moses and Aaron, and they came down off in the mountain and they built that golden calf. Yahweh told them, Moses told them to tarry there until they come back unto them, right? And so instead of them being obedient, they tried to do what they wanted to do on their own before Moses came down. Same thing in the fulfillment. When Yahshua told his disciples to tarry in the upper room until he comes back again unto them, what did they do? They wanted to cast lots and choose out who was going to take Judas's place instead. And that is not who Yahweh chose. But anyway, and he said unto the elders, tarry ye here for us until we come again, da 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 da. Moses went up into the mount, and into the cloud of the mount, and the glory of Yahweh abode upon Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it 6 days, colon. And it says, and the 7th day he called unto Moses out of the midst of the cloud. So now in the first 6 days, he didn't call out to Moses until the 7th day. But in this verse, it doesn't say what happened in the 6 days, and it doesn't say what he said unto Moses when he called out to him. The next verse only says, and the sight of the glory of Yahweh was like devouring fire on the top of the mount in the eyes of the children of Israel. And Moses went in the midst of the cloud and got him up in the mount, and Moses was in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. It doesn't say anything what happened the first 6 days or what Yahweh said unto Moses the 7th day. And it says that the cloud was a devouring fire. So if that's the case, then we know it had to be in the evening time when Moses went up into the mount by himself. And so what happened on the first 6 days is when we would go to Genesis, the first chapter, to pick up the 6 days that Moses saw in the mount. And that's why when we read Genesis, the first chapter, it says, in the beginning, Elohim created the heaven and the earth was without form and void. I want to pause here for just a second. So we know that whenever we're reading the Bible and things like that, we have blood, water, spirit, 40 principles, right? And so when we go back to the 24th chapter of Exodus, the only thing we see in this chapter is blood. When Moses took half the blood and put it in basins, we don't see anything about water or 40. Well, this is where you pick up your water, spirit, and 40 at. So we know that after he sprinkled the blood, then that's when he went up into the mount and he was up there for 40 days. So you got your blood and your 40, but then you go to Genesis, the first chapter, to get your water and your spirit. So so the very next thing Moses saw after the blood, it says, in the beginning, Elohim created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the spirit, that's your spirit, moved upon the face of the waters. So he had to see water and he had to see spirit right after the blood, and he was up there for 40 days. So that's your blood, water, spirit, 40 in this particular event. And Elohim said, let there be light, and there was light. He didn't have to say, let there be darkness, because darkness was already there. It was already evening time and dark, and plus darkness was already there. Let there be light, and there was light. And Elohim saw the light, that it was good. And Elohim divided light from the darkness. And Elohim called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. Why did he not say morning and evening? Because at the time Moses saw this was in the evening time. And so Moses is just recording what he saw in the time frame that he saw it. So the evening, when he first went up into the mount, and they saw the pillar of fire when Moses went up, that means it was evening time. The evening and the morning were the first day that Yahweh showed Moses. That was the first day out of the 6 days that Yahweh showed Moses in the mount. Second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, sixth day. And then when we go all the way down to the 7th day, let's see, where is it? Where is it? And the evening morning was the 6th day, next chapter in the King James Version. Keep reading in the holy name. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. And on the 7th day, Elohim ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work which he had made. Now, the reason why Yahweh, several reasons he did this. He did it this way for one reason, is to show Moses why in the 16th chapter of Exodus, he told them to get on the 6th day to get a double portion, because he wasn't going to rain out any manna on the 7th day. Now Moses is seeing why. Because before this, when Yahweh gave him the instructions on the 16th chapter about the 6th day and the Sabbath day, and in the 20th chapter gave them the law about remember the Sabbath day. Now Moses is seeing why Yahweh had it set that way. On the seventh day, Elohim ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And Elohim blessed the Sabbath day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which Elohim created and made. And that's it for the first chapter of Genesis. It still does not say what he said to Moses after the seventh day that we read in the 24th chapter of Exodus. This is where you get what happened the rest of those days that he was up into the mount. You go to the 25th chapter of Exodus, and that's when it said, and Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying. So this is what he said to Moses when it talks about in the 24th chapter, what says, and on the seventh day he called out unto Moses. This is what he said when he called out to Moses after the seventh day. And he spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel. So now he's going to give him the next 33 days of those 40 days. He's given to Moses the instructions to build the tabernacle. And so if we look at the 25th chapter of Exodus, it corresponds to the first day of creation. The 26th chapter of Exodus corresponds to the second day of creation, so forth and so on. So the assignment for next time we meet together will be to read Genesis, the first chapter, and then go back and read Exodus 25 through 31 and write a report on how the creation came in by the pattern. So if you can compare the first day of creation with the 25th chapter of Exodus, the second day of creation with the 26th chapter of Exodus, so forth and so on, you should be able to see those different vessels that he told Moses in the 25th chapter should correspond with what came about in the first day. Same thing with the second chapter, according to the second day, so forth and so on. So if you can read that with that in mind, looking for the correlation, then you should be able to come up with a report on it, and we'll discuss those reports the next time we meet. So that's the assignment for the basics and foundation class for not this Monday coming up, but the following Monday. So every other Monday we'll have this class. And if you just joined tonight, if you want to come.
Excuse me, say that again. Say that again, Carla.
Okay. So we're going to read Genesis, the first chapter, and then Exodus 25 through 31. And so we're going to correlate the 25th chapter with the first day of creation. And the 26th chapter, it goes with the second day of creation. 27 goes with the third day. 28 goes with the fourth day. 29 goes with the fifth day. 30 goes with the sixth day. And then the 31st chapter is when he kind of finished everything up. So if you read the 25th through the 31st chapters, you should be able to go back and correlate it to each day of creation, where Yahweh showed Moses the creation by the pattern. And so this is what he was talking about in Romans 1:19 and 20. For that which may be known of Yahweh is manifest in them, for Yahweh showed it unto them. Even the things from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made. And the reason why we know he was talking about Israel, if we keep reading, it talks about, what he shows them and things like that. So he was talking about Israel in Romans 1:19 and 20, because that which may be known of Yahweh is manifest in them. Them who? Israel. For Yahweh has showed it unto them. Right. For Yahweh had showed it unto them. For the invisible things of Yahweh, or for the invisible things of him, from the creation of the world, are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made. Even, you can even understand his eternal power and his eternal nature, so that they are without excuse. So nobody has an excuse. Because that when they knew Yahweh, same day, they glorified him not as Elohim, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the uncorruptible Elohim into an image made like to corruptible. He's talking about Israel, because that's what they did out there in the wilderness when Yahweh was, giving them the instructions and things like that. So he's talking about Israel. But everything that you can know about Yahweh are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, by this tabernacle pattern that he gives to Moses. And so that will be the first assignment that we're going to do moving forward. And then we'll get off into the tabernacle some more when we come to class, or the next time we meet for the basics and foundation class. So we'll do the reports first part of class, and then we'll start breaking down the tabernacle and have another assignment with the tabernacle the next time we come meet for the basics and foundation class. Any questions or comments? Nope. Did y'all learn something tonight?
Yes.
Next time.
I did.
Oh yeah, very good class.
Maybe too.
Very
They're all
good.
I'm sorry, what was that? What was that, Ms. Dibble?
No, I said it was a very good class. Next
Oh, yeah.
time, I'll make a comment on those trips. Something I was wanting to say, but I know you were moving because there was so much to say and time was moving. So Father
Okay.
willing, next time.
Okay, no problem. All right, all right. Any other comments or questions? All right, hope y'all got y'all's assignment. So Wednesday will be the next time we have our class. We have class on Wednesday from 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That will be like the regular class that we have. The same link as our Sunday class will be Wednesday night, and then we'll have class again on Sunday, same time, 10 a.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, same Zoom link. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at meridiansoul, SOHL, @gmail.com. If you want to look up any of the transcripts or any of the audios or conference calls, or even if you want to have a copy of the Elohim book, there's a digital copy on our website. You go to soulfood.org, SOHL, which stands for School of Highest Learning, SOHLfood.org, to get all of those different things that you can use to study. If there's nothing else, we'll conclude with the doxology taken from the last two verses of the book of Jude. Sean, do you want to do doxology for me?
All righty. Now unto him that is able to keep you from falling and to present you faultless before the presence of his glory with exceeding joy. To the only wise Elohim, our Savior, through Yahshua the Messiah, our sovereign, belong glory and majesty, dominion and power, both now and ever. Let us all say hallelujah.
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 Hallelujah.